All right, people live streaming. I have changed the audio setup somewhat significantly. Let me say extensively. I don't know. Anyways, let me explain it. Basically, I've completely separated the house inputs from the live stream inputs. So the only thing that we are going to use mostly are what's in red. All right, there are a few things that we are still going to have to borrow. If we're ever using the choir mics, we'll have to borrow those from the house. But basically, if it's green, it's meant to be for the house. And then you can see all these. The on button is not lit up. So there's still a few 15, 10 that are, but basically everything that has a name that is in current use is not on, and that is because we're going to use our own dedicated inputs for live stream. So we're in the normal mixing app, so if we hit routing, we've got custom 1 and then custom 2. I'm going to sneeze. No, I'm not. So we've got custom 1 and custom 2, just like normal. All of our input colors up at the top are red. And then we still want to double tap our stereo aux 3 record to get the faders to turn blue. That lets us control the level for the recording aux, which is going to our live stream. But you see down here on custom 2, we have a lot of green inputs over here on the right, and we've got this 44 in PC. Generally speaking, we won't ever use the PC input because the PC input is just playing walk-in music, and that's copyrighted, and we don't want to broadcast performance copyright material. So that's generally speaking all that we use that channel for, but in case we ever used it for something else that we can broadcast, it's there on custom layer 2. But again, generally speaking, we're just working with these red inputs now. So up at the top, we've got all of our vocal speaking mics, pulpit pastor, the floor mic, and then we start with rise mic, and after that then we go input wireless 2 through 7. And I did change the names. You can see if it's a full name, it starts with the number that's on the wireless microphone. So 2, 3, 4, wireless 4 and wireless 6. So I left those numbers there. And then the last kind of speaking microphones that might be used are choir 1, choir 2. So with these red inputs, again, they are completely independent. So I've got them muted right now. Whenever you mute this input, you can't anymore rely on the house person to unmute it. You have to unmute it. Except for whenever the input is green. So again, choir 1, choir 2, we're hardly ever using choir mics. But this, since it's green, it's going to map to the choir 1, choir 2. So if I unmute choir 2 mic here in the house, it unmutes it also in the stream. If I hit mute again, you see it show back up, and I hit that button from the board over here. So since it's green, it will it's basically, we're sharing it, borrowing it from the house. So we still can't touch the mute button there, but everywhere else, whenever input is red, we're going to use that input. And we have independent control of the mute switch and independent control of almost everything else except for the gain. So you can't touch gain because we're sharing that with the house, but what we can touch is trim. Trim is just about the same function, it's just a digital version of gain. Gain actually does control an analog amplifier. Right after that analog amplifier, the soundboard turns it into a digital signal, which is where it hits the trim pot. So you can turn the trim of any channel up or down. So if you just want to get more of something, you can. You still have to be concerned about your level. If it's peaking, it's still going to distort. So we can't have it distort. But again, we get independent control now of trim, high pass filter, gate, EQ, compressor. We're not going to delay anything. But anyways, anytime the input's red, we get to make it sound like we want it to sound for the live stream. So I'm really excited about that. And then I do want to give you an option if you're like, Ethan, I don't ever want to adjust anything except for just volume. GLD1 mix over here. This is the home screen of the iPad. It's basically the same app, except it's a little simpler. So we're still going to log in the same way, admin, waves. When we log in, we have our recording channel here. It looks very similar. We're going to hit that mix button. And now we have my mix, custom, custom, custom. All right, so you can look here on the second custom. Here's wireless and vocal mics. Rise over here at the end. Up here at the top, you've got pulpit pastor, wireless number 1, the floor mic. There's the rest of the wireless and vocal microphones. That third custom layer, this is all the instrument microphones, piano, ride guitar. Awesome. And then the last one is another custom layer with some kind of backup inputs. And again, these are all green ones, so these are all going to sync with the house, but we don't have names on them. We rarely ever use extra microphones, but in the off case that we need them, they are there. All right, I plan to do some training in person with the house sound people so we can all get together and make sure everybody understands what's going on, implications of what it did, and all that fun stuff. I did change names. I guess you probably have noticed that since we've been popping through stuff, but like 42L2 used to be Pastor, so I changed that. All the wireless microphones, they start with a number now of what number is actually on that wireless microphone. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So yeah, talk to you guys soon.